Welcome back to the Queendom, y'all. Okay, so when I started this vlog, I told myself that I wasn't going to just stick with one same old topic. I was going to like do various things. So today I am making a video about a loop blanket. They're really easy. It's kind of like knitting for the most part. So everyone that knows me knows I love art and I love doing crafts. It's very calming to me, very zen, keeps me centered. In the past couple months I've made a few blankets for a few little, new additions to our family, little baby blankets, using some loop yarn. And of course I had family members and friends ask me, oh my gosh, how did you do that? That looks so complicated. It's so soft and it's so easy. Like, it takes a couple of hours. It's really relaxing and it's for beginners. Like, anyone can do it. So today I'm going to be making a blanket for my cousin Akeen, his wife Erica. I made their daughter Catalea. Hey girl, she's probably born by now by the time this video posts. I'm making a blanket for her mom Erica for their nursery because he wanted them to have matching blankets. Of course I said yes because I'm a great cousin. So I'm going to just show you guys what to use, how to use it, and how easy it is. Like, it's a really good gift. Same, materials I'm going to use. You can make pillows, scarves. I just like making blankets, and it's actually really easy. So I actually brought some yarn from Joann's. They sell it at Michael's as well. The yarn I'm using for Erica's blanket is the same one that I use for Catalea's. Same color, same company, same pattern, all that. So I'm using Loopity Loops. It is by Big Twist. There are a few other brands out there that make the loop yarn. You can get them in between like $4 a pop to about $12 a pop. It just depends. I've used Loopity Loop on Catalea's blanket, my niece McKinley's blanket when I made hers. I've also used it on my cousin Michael's son's blanket, on Kendrick's blanket. I use Loopity Loops. I've also used Bernat, which is really nice too. It's actually my favorite. I use that on baby Micah's blanket. I've also used Off the Hook, making a blanket for my mom. Off the Hook isn't really my favorite. The bundles are smaller and the loops are thinner. They're not as soft and fluffy. I think Bernat has the biggest yarns. They're about the same size as the Loopity Loops, but they're a lot more fluffier and like more dense. So they are more expensive, but that is the better one. You probably use less using the Bernat or Loopity Loops versus the Off the Hook or the Red Heart loop yarn, because their bundles are really small. So actually I looked up on Joann's to see how many bundles of a Bernat I would need to make like a full-size Afghan. They said 6. A baby blanket is 3, so I don't trust 6. So I bought 9 just in case. I got them on sale. They're always on sale. Joann's accepts coupons, so it can be a lot more cheaper than you would think, especially since it's so inexpensive. I'm going to show you what the loops look like. They're actual like finger loops, so you can literally stick your fingers through them. They're very easy to manage. I'm actually going to make a cheat and measure the yarn against my queen size bed just to make sure I'm getting at least enough. You should start off around, for a full-size Afghan, 65 loops, so you have to count them out. And then I'll show you how to get it done. Okay, y'all, so I measured the yarn to how long or how wide my queen size bed is, and it came out to be 61 loops. So of course I went with the Joann's and did the full 65 loops, because you always want to give a little extra room. People like to wrap up in blankets. So here's my 65 loops. What you want to do is count to the 65. I'm actually right-handed, so I'm going to switch this around. I'm going to count to loop 65, which is this one right here, and you want to take the 66th loop and you want to pull it through just like that. Really simple, so easy. A lot of people call this finger knitting, You want to take the 67th, put it through the 64th, and so on and so on. And you're going to do this all the way down until you get to the end. You want to make sure that when you're putting the loops through, you're not alternating, going in and out opposite ways. You don't want to start going in through the back and then start going in through the front. Then you'll just twist everything up. It makes it really knotted and confusing. You also want to make sure that you don't skip any loops, because then you'll have holes in your blanket and little pieces just flailing around, and it's extremely unattractive, and it gets really frustrating because then you have to take it all out and double check and make sure that everything is accounted for properly. That we are at the last loop of the base row, you can see a little bit how the blanket has started to come together. This is all the first row of the blanket. You can tell it's going to be kind of wide because of course it's for an adult. And there's nothing worse than having a blanket that you can't even attempt to wrap up in, so I definitely want it to be wide enough for her to be at least comfortable with it. So this last loop, you want to take your next loop in your first row, put it through the very beginning, loop at the end of your string. Now take the extra loop right behind it and go through its partner just like that and pull it. So now you've finished your first row, and then you've started your second row by going on top of the one you just finished with. So
a few inches later.
When it gets down to this very last loop on your spool of yarn, of course, you're going to have this little piece you're going to have to tuck in later. What you want to do is take the other first loop on your new string and put them together, match the holes up. And you want to go through the next loop just like it's normal business and pull it through and continue. Now I have made it back to my double piece, my end, my beginning of my spools of yarn. I'm just going to go ahead and put the same, go ahead and go through both of them at once. You would think that the blanket would be really thick and noticeable once you do that, but it doesn't. It blends in very nicely, and no one can tell where you started and where you ended with spools of yarn. And you just keep on going.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
And the blanket is all the way done. I'm going to show you how to finish it off so that it is secure and that it doesn't unravel. So the first thing you want to do is grab a pair of scissors, something really sharp. It doesn't have to be serious. Some people like to snap the last loop after you put the last one through. You can also just simply cut right through that last loop. Just have one straggling over and then snap it just like that. Really easy. What I like to do is to start from the opposite end of where this tail is. It may seem a little complicated, but I can assure you that it is really easy. So what you want to do is take your second loop in the blanket, put it through your first, and pull up, and do the same thing over again. Third loop through and pull over. As you can tell, it makes this tight little line across the blanket. Next one, pull up and through, and so on and so on. just going to keep doing that until I reach the end of the blanket. Alright, now that we're getting to the very end of the blanket, I'm going to put the last loop through and pull it tight and make sure that there are no loose pieces at the top that I forgot. Of course, you want to be thorough. Now this little tail that I left over, you just want to go ahead and put it through the loop. I like to tie a knot. Just for safekeepings. And then all you want to do is go ahead and tuck the string right back through the top. Just kind of tuck it in. Okay guys, so I'm all done with the blanket for my cousin's wife. I will show you the front side where it's very seamless. It's actually rather large, so I'm going to fold it in half. So this is the front, very seamless, very camouflagey. It's really cute. It's so soft and fluffy. I need to make one of these for myself. And then of course the back I told you would be more of a pattern look, very like a lot of lines. And this is what the lines look like. It's more definition. I personally love both sides. You can do it either or. This was a lot of fun. I actually ended up using 8 of my 9 rolls. I did use 6 at first, and then I seen how big it was. It was, you know, an okay size. It reminded me of, you know, how like the older women in church, they sit with their little coveralls, little handkerchiefs over their skirts that are already full length, and they're just like, oh, hey Sister Shirley. No, we need something bigger than that. We need a blanket, something to cuddle up in. That's the purpose of it. So I went ahead and used 8 rolls. I frequently checked after every roll how large it was, how long it was, knowing how tall she is, how much taller than me she is, how much more yarn I would need to make it as big as I needed to. So 8 was the magic number this time. Anyone taller, I would use 9. Honestly, I may, you know, the next blanket I may have to make, I would make it a few stitches wider. This time I did 65. Maybe next time I'll do 70 or 75. Just, you know, it can fit a bigger bed, or someone wants to wrap up in it just a little bit more. That is very much possible. So that is how you do a finger loop yarn blanket. If you have any questions, leave in the comments below. Subscribe and have a wonderful day. Peace out.